you ready? Can I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Welcome back to the Ennui. Actually, not welcome back. First episode. Ennui Talk After Show. So it's not an extra, it's an after show. I'm your host, Matthew Winter.
I'm your host, Samuel Davis.
Co-host.
Oh, sorry.
Co-host.
Sorry. It's like, assistant to the regional manager. Yeah.
Correct. Just
office
meta.
reference.
What do you think of our first episode back?
Yeah, this is it. What did I think of it, the one we just did?
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it. I think I actually do laugh at my own jokes too much, but I think I only do when they're funny, and I think all of those were funny, so...
I do the same, and I agree. All my jokes are funny, not yours.
Well, agree to disagree, but you can choose to love yourself, like that Justin Bieber song.
So
it's okay because it's the after show.
It's the after show. See, I don't really know what this after show is. I guess it's just more of the same, but it's also like, it's behind a paywall, so we can say whatever we want. I support Andrew Tate.
Oh, phew, I thought that was going to go somewhere else.
Where do you think it was going to go?
You support Hitler or something, or Hitler's regime?
Oh, yeah. I don't. Why would I do that? That's who reads the. Actually, I had a mate
you
in
were
school.
A skinhead at one point. Yeah, was he a skinhead?
No, I was going to mention that I was never a skin. That wasn't a Nazi thing. Are you kidding? Don't make jokes about that.
Oh,
a
Matthew,
Nazi thing.
Did you see that, guys?
Do you know
Matthew
why?
just did the Hitler salute. I saw it.
I didn't.
He did this.
We
to
can't
me,
even
so.
see each other's videos because both of our internet connections are fucking dog shit.
Shh, don't tell anyone
Am I
that.
wrong?
They'll think it's a 2-bit operation, which it is.
Oh, damn it, it'll be a 2-bit operation. You need to really figure your shit out. You really.
Why did you just impersonate
me.
a voice that didn't exist?
It does exist.
You just invented it.
What do you mean? I did not invent it. I think I could be a good voice actor.
Me too. We'll get to that later.
No.
But I think the point of this
No.
after show is it's the after dark. It's the midnight hour. It's the late hours of ennui. It's the time where things are less refined, where things go even more off the rails, where Matt's dad beats up me. He probably would actually, rugby player. He seems like a really tough nut to crack. Get a red nut.
If this podcast had retention, the retention
What, sorry?
is gone. The retention would be gone. There'd be 0 people listening. It's the opposite. It doesn't matter as long as they're paying the money. Go fuck yourself.
There'd be half of one person listening.
Half of one person. Go fuck yourself. One thing I was going to say though,
That, whatever you want to.
was about retention. Now I fucking forgot my train of thought. It was something about retention,
Sorry.
and it was something about the podcast. What was it? I can't even remember. You've done this to me. Oh, that's what I was going to say was what would make like the best. I don't know how podcasts work. Like Riverside is apparently the best place to do it. I think we need just better quality internet, and then it'd be like smooth sailing.
Well, I feel like every freaking place has shit internet. Like the governments and Australia was just like, oh, we're gonna make every internet connection amazing. NBN, it's all gonna be so good. Everyone I talk to has shit internet. No one I talk to has like decent enough internet. So when we're trying to do something like this, like of course there's going to be technical problems and it's going to be a disaster. Like it's freaking annoying. Like I'm just so angry. Like it is actually freaking irritating how shit internet is. Like it should be so much better than it is, clearly.
The only thing I hate about it from a podcast perspective is it's like you have to sort of do this whole like talk and then wait. And then it's like, that's not how like a natural conversation to me is. But it is, but like I think we do a pretty good job. I think we do. Even though like every 2 minutes, like you like freeze for like a good like 20 seconds. Not 20 seconds, 10 seconds. Yeah, I know I do. But it's like we've done a good job at like covering it up, I think.
I think we have. I think it's very funny when it freezes and you're doing a face like that was earlier tonight. It just froze on that for like 20 seconds. I was going to take a photo, but I ran out of time. That was funny. I think that should be the thumbnail for the next podcast. Just a freeze frame of you just going. And that's the one that comes up that people see in their recommended, alongside maybe Hitler's face, you know.
Are you done?
No, I'm actually not done. I'm going to keep going. This is
Speaking
why.
of-
This is why I got this job.
Don't do that to the mic. Do you know how fuck that makes my audio cunt? No, it's fine.
Oh, I'll stop. Sorry.
Do you watch like podcasts on YouTube?
Yeah, no, I prefer watching when a podcast has a video to go with the audio. I would much prefer choosing the video option. I won't, just listen to the audio because I like seeing people's, I'm a person that like when I talk, I use a lot of like my hands and to express, and I like seeing other people do that to like convey like a story they're really passionate about, or just seeing like, people's reactions to things. If it was something really funny was said or something. I think listening to just audio is you do miss out on a lot of stuff, but if there is only audio, then that's all right. But if there's a video option, I'll always pick that.
See, I think it's like this. They always say like podcast listeners are more like engaged listeners, and like they listen to everything. Like, do you know what I mean? Like they're listening, they're purposely listening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's just interesting to me because it's
not like the radio
I
when
don't
it's on
know.
the background.
Correct. Like I remember like Lewis Spears, he was actually mentioning when he had a radio show, like they were told that like every at least minute they would have to say like, because who was it? It was Lewis and
Luke,
it was with
Luke
a
and
guy,
Lewis,
Luke and Lewis, and it was like, oh yeah, Luke, that's pretty funny. Oh, that's all right, Lewis, because they had to mention each other's names. Otherwise, if you're just like joining the conversation, joining the channel at that time,
Oh yeah.
do you know what I mean?
That's
It's interesting,
like-
isn't it?
Well, that's such a shit because, like, obviously, if it's Hamish and Andy, they wouldn't have to do that because it's Hamish and Andy. Kyle and Jackie O, everyone knows what they sound like. They're pretty recognizable voices by now. That's like such a freaking like shit of the job because if someone who actually wants to enjoy the show, you can't do that. And it reminds me of like when I studied radio and the Smooth FM producer was our teacher. She was our OH&S teacher, I'm pretty sure. And I was such a little bastard back then. I literally said to her, I'm like, why does Smooth FM play the same songs over and over and over? And she's like, well, that's because new listeners, that come in that haven't heard the show until that point, they get another song. And I'm just like, isn't that just a lazier option so you don't have to have a more extensive and broad range? I was a fuckwit. This is the producer of a
You're a
freaking massive
fuckwit.
station. She was a bit up herself, but we gave her a lot of shit, and I feel bad now looking back. Sorry, Lauren Saylor.
Shout out. I bet she's listening.
She'd be
definitely
kind of
not.
proud, actually, of me,
Was she?
considering
Would
where
she?
I was going. Nah, probably not. I don't work for Austereo or Southern or any of the major radio stations, so she probably thinks I'm a degenerate.
Would you work for a radio station?
Oh, yeah. I had an opportunity to at one point through TAFE, through my
really?
course. There was literally, there were jobs that led straight to it, but back then I couldn't stand radio. It wasn't my thing at all. And I think these days I feel like I've got a better gauge on it. Like I feel like I'd be a lot better at it now because I'm, when someone you can tell they just don't like their job and if they're
I
a
do.
radio presenter or if they're doing anything, if they're a construction worker and you can just tell that they don't like their job, they're complaining too much. You don't want to listen to a radio station and you can tell the person just doesn't want to be there talking into a mic. And if I did it back then, if I did radio back then, that definitely would be what it would sound like. But I think if I did it now, I'd just be very, like I am on this podcast, I'd be about the same, except obviously minus all the swear words and innuendos and non-PG stuff. But I think even like in a PG rating, I think I'd be able to make it entertaining because my radio teacher was like, he used to say, he's like, I'm so disappointed, Sam, that you're not continuing in radio. I'm like, why? He's like, because you're very, very talented. I'm like, shut the fuck, I don't give a shit. But he was a very nice bloke though. He believed in me when no one
You're
else
a
did.
prick. You're an absolute asshole.
I was a fuckwit and TAFE. I didn't give a shit about anything or anyone. I was the worst. Shout out to TAFE.
Shout out to TAFE. I hope TAFE is listening. Are you fucking like...
You're gonna kill me, man.
Shout out to TAFE. Fuck me. With that, I'll be back in a sec. I really need to get a drink.
All right, you
the-
get a
the viewers
drink. I'll keep
entertained,
talking. What I meant by shout out to TAFE was like I don't have to say who it is. They know me. You already know who it is. It's your boy. Freeze. Meow. Ruff. Sorry, guys. That's complete mic spam. That's not. No one wants to hear that. What I'm going to say while Matthew Winter's gone is, I think the future is bright in Australian content and Australian talent, and I think the hidden gems like Ennui will one day get discovered. I genuinely will, because you can't go that long having a successful and long-running podcast with 236 episodes, I think there is now, and not
something like that.
reach an audience. Oh, he's back. And not reach an audience. So, guys, mark my words. You'll be watching this, and we'll say we told you so. Unless we're just talking to no one, and in case we didn't tell you so then. But we think that we told you so. Oh, and he's back, and he just did that to show his freaking prime. Well, I've got my brand that I've never heard of, water drink bottle, and its internal temp high cooldown needs to cool down.
Are you fucking kidding? Again. This might be your fucking audio only. Okay, this one. I'm just going to keep it as audio only, I think.
Well, I would definitely love to have the copy of the video as usual. Sorry.
Actually, no, fuck it. I'm putting the video back on.
I can try. Why not? Give it a go. I know it's a lot of editing, and I hate it when I have to edit podcasts that are in like 8 different parts and you got to stitch it all together. Fuck that.
Oh, fuck me. It better be worth it for the fucking 2 people that fucking listen to it.
Brother.
Oh, yuck.
Don't treat
This
those
ice
2
pop
people
flavor's
like
fucking
that.
Gross.
Is this the one you haven't drunk yet?
No, I've drunk both. The ice pop was like nice at first, but it's not really that like tasty. Prime was developed to fill the void where the great taste meets function, with bold, thirst-quenching flavors to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel. Prime is the perfect boost for every endeavor. We're confident you'll love it as much as we do. Humbly, the Prime team. It's actually like it's okay. Do you know do you want to know the contents of it? Do you guess how much saturated fat's in it?
0.
0. How about total sugars?
10 grams?
0.
Really?
No sugar. Yeah, cut 20 calories.
How much glucose?
Glucose, it doesn't tell me. Am I blind?
Citric
0
acid.
protein. Oh, sorry, 2 grams of total sugar, sorry. 6 grams total carbohydrates, 10 milligrams of sodium. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that, like, bad, but it's also, like, I don't know.
You know how there's those
I'm doing a
drinks
thumbnail
that
right now.
if you're really thirsty, they taste incredible. I feel like that ice pop flavor, if you're like just did a workout or something, and then you have that, it would probably be like the greatest thing you've ever drank. But otherwise, just drinking it like normal, it's just like, you know, ugh. It's like sweat water.
I don't see it like, I don't know. Like, I guess because you know what they're trying to like go against. It's fucking like Powerade? No, it's Gatorade. It's Gatorade.
Yeah,
think
they
it's actually
said that's their
selling more than
direct
Gatorade.
competition. Yeah.
Correct. It's like selling more than it is in the UK now, which is interesting as well because it's like, I like the fact that they're like calling out something. Do you know what I mean? Like they're directly going against something specific.
You're allowed to
rather
do
than-
that, so why not? Yeah.
But it's like, it's part of the
not
marketing
against
as
the
well.
rules.
It's like, you know, fuck Gatorade, drink Prime.
Gatorade aren't like the most. I think they did that because they're not like the most reputable brand, aren't they? Unless my facts are false. I
No,
think
that's
they're
correct.
like, yeah. I don't think they're the most like decent brand in terms of the brand history. But I guess every brand's the same. You know which brand? Actually, this could be the title of this podcast potentially. Who knows? You know which is the worst company that's ever existed on planet Earth?
I'll
give you a hint. What are the two? Oh no, that's entertainment. What do you think?
They covered up sexual assaults. Continue though.
Yeah, that happens in every company. But yeah, no, good point. No, it's between 2 chocolate bar companies. Who are the 2 biggest?
Nestle.
Cadbury and Nestle. Yeah, Nestle is the worst company in the history of business. They stole water They fucking stole water from Africa and made them pay for bottled water.
Are you kidding?
They had an Africa, like very, very impoverished parts of Africa had an opportunity to have fresh, clean drinking water as opposed to having to pay for Nestle. And they fucking stole their water and said, you know what? Fuck you. If you want clean drinking water, you have to fucking buy it off us. They
Holy
are
fucking shit.
They are fucking awful. And what they also did was they pretended that their baby formula, which is literally just same shit as fucking Milo, essentially, they pretended that had as much nutrients as real breast milk. So a bunch of babies, like I'd be saying like millions. It'd be in the millions. Died because they didn't have the proper nutrients because their parents are just like, oh, I don't have to breastfeed. I'll just give them Nestle baby formula.
That's fucked.
Nestle are pure evil. And if you look up their current CEO, he looks like the most evil person that's ever lived. Genuinely. Like, it's disgusting.
By the way, just to reference the first episode, what the F1 series is
Yep.
on Netflix, because I Googled it and forgot to mention it. It's Formula One. It's Drive to Survive.
Okay.
And apparently it's very, very good. Like, it's, just sidebar real quick. It's like, I don't know, they film like the last season of the Formula One, or the Formula One World Championship. And like, there's stories within it. Like, and it's actually made it much, much more popular in the US. Because this is what, that's the reason why they did it. They wanted to make it more popular in the US because if they wanted to expand out of the European market. So what they did was, because like the people in the US just didn't give two fucks. But now that's like, oh, I can like immerse myself in like the stories of like what's going on. I think like one of the stories is like Red Bull's team is like always like at the top sort of thing. And it's like they're keeping their throne. And they're interesting people as well. There's like 5 seasons of this shit now.
It sounds like it'd be one of those shows where even if you're not obviously a fan of F1, you'd be interested in it. But like that's a constant in every sport, isn't it? The main team or the main sponsorship is every single person is succeeding with that sponsor or that team, and that just like dominates it. It's really annoying.
It is annoying. Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, it reminds me of the tennis player, Andreas Seppi, using a Pro Kenix racket. I know this is a weird response to freaking Formula One going straight off topic. But like Pro Kenix, he's the only person on the tour that uses that brand. And it's just like, what a legend, you know? He's shedding light on like a smaller brand and everyone else is just using the same brand. But when it comes to the US Formula One, otherwise known as Formula in Talladega Nights, I reckon that's a good strategy, like trying to branch out, because obviously NASCAR was the big one in the US, but that's died. So you may as well like convert all the old NASCAR fans or even just anyone in the US to Formula One. But you notice how the US is such a fucking weird market? Even though there's 350 million people, with like certain sports, you just cannot, like, it never catches on in the US, especially like the amount we've tried to promote AFL in the US, and that just
I think it's just because it's so Americanized. Like they already like they're stuck in their ways in a lot of ways. I don't know.
They love their Maccas, they love their baseball, they love their football, anything with ball in the name. Surfing, they love their surfing.
But you think about it, it's the home of everything. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, and then you're trying to fucking bring Aussie rules over here. Like, Jesus Christ. It's interesting. But then it's interesting how, like, okay, for example, if somebody tried to bring, like, you know, they've tried to bring on, they'd call it fucking gridiron, fucking American football over here. It just doesn't catch on as well. I mean, it must be a culture thing, I think.
I think so. And it's like, you know, when nothing has a rich tradition and nothing has like rich grassroots, doesn't matter if it's sport or any, you know, business, and it hasn't, you know, had the chance to flourish in a certain country, trying to get it going is impossible. Like, it takes so much effort, and you got to be willing to put in the effort to do that. And not a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, I'll, you know, invest. I'll just like put a bunch of money on this sport and this like market that clearly is more interested in these other sports. Like,
Mm.
yeah. Anyway, same shit with a lot of things, a lot of places.
Mm. No, it's interesting, isn't it?
Well, like rugby
what
in
I
New
say.
South Wales is a good example, actually.
No,
Sorry.
that is a good example. I was going to say, it's interesting, isn't it? Is you what I say when I've got nothing else to say. But you're right about rugby though. Like it's interesting how it's interesting how New South Wales is not an a AFL sort of
No.
state.
I'd argue it's
But
the weakest for AFL. They hate
absolutely.
it most in New South Wales.
But you'd also say that, you know, Victoria and South Australia and Western Australia are the weakest states for rugby league.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a New South Wales and it's a New South Wales and Queensland sport, really. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the people in the Northern Territory do. I think they just like fucking beat sticks on the ground for their. I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for watching the On We Talk podcast. That's actually our last episode ever because Matthew's been officially cancelled for good.
No,
for being
first of
completely
all, we're behind
racially
a paywall. No, I'm not.
racially
No.
ignorant.
No. That wasn't supposed to be racist. That was just to say they're fucking
Oh,
poor and they've got nothing going on. I'm not saying.
All right.
I didn't fucking say they were fucking playing with didgeridoos and
I
sniffing
think
fuel.
I think
didn't
everyone's
say that, did I?
brain. I think everyone's brain goes to racist thing because the Northern Territory is primarily a black populated community. But no, Matthew has been cancelled. I've just taken what he said and just he didn't specifically mention that, but no, he is. In my eyes, that's cancelled.
Did you know there was a video that we made years ago? And
Oh,
I didn't make the
no.
joke. Chris did. Chris Hodge, great friend, actually lives near me still.
This is a good topic.
He made a joke about it was something about like we had a chainsaw and we're talking about petrol, and it was talking about I got introduced it from the local Aboriginal tribe, the petrol brand.
Bruh.
But
Is
it
it
was
still
actually
there?
quite funny. It's still there, yeah. It's actually one of the ones that hasn't been taken down.
This is such a good topic to bring up. Shit that exists in our old videos that we need to use YouTube editor to get rid of if we want a career one day. You know how many bootleg Bill jokes that are still in one of our videos that I need to get rid of that I've just been lazy. I haven't edited the video. There's
What do
like
you mean a bootleg Bill joke?
Well, you know bootleg Bill, right? The guy on my channel that's the little dude. That's sort of
Yes,
controversial shit.
I do. Yeah,
The crazy guy.
yeah.
We love him. He has he said some fucked shit, man, in the podcast. There's one thing he said recently, and this I'm allowed to say this because it is his style of humor. We're not going to laugh at it on We Talk, and we recommend no one to say this. But we were watching a video recently. I showed him my Hot Ones special, and a photo came up of my friend Matt with a very dark girl, and Bootleg Bill said "Alone in the Dark." And I was like, bruh,
Jesus Christ.
you can't say that, bro. So his style of humor, it never ends. It's anything goes. Anything goes, guys. He will say whatever. And editing the freaking recordings we do is a goddamn nightmare because some of them are on like the edge of, they should be kept in because they're so funny, you know what I mean? But others are just like, dude. Bruh,
That's terrible. That's terrible. I don't think racism is funny. Like I've even found making
when
jokes
you realize how other
about
people feel. No, it's not funny. Sorry.
But like, okay, is the joke about, for example, how many Jews can you fit in a car? 2 in the front, 3 in the back, and 50 in the ashtray. Is that funny? I think that's like a quality, and that's like I don't know, maybe it's a quality joke, but it's like, I don't know, it's a burnt Jew joke. I don't know.
I'll always say this every time. Read the room. That's all I'll say.
No, you
Do whatever you want in comedy. Go whichever places you want to go, but read the room for God's sakes, because you can get fucking killed if you say the wrong joke in the wrong place, the wrong time.
I think one of the things is as well, it's like, it also has to be a joke. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can't just be like, for example, how many babies can you fit in a car? 3 in the back, 2 in the front, and heaps more, and they're all dead. Like, that's not fucking funny.
That's just not a joke.
It's not.
Well,
And it's
what
like-
about Kramer from Seinfeld in The Laugh Factory? Was that a joke?
Honestly, that's the best joke that this life has given me.
His stand-up routine at The Laugh Factory.
Actually, funny story. So, as you know, I work at a McDonald's, and my restaurant manager, his name is Lachlan Kramer. So in my phone, his actual and I'll show the viewers. His name's Kramer in my phone with a K, and then his little picture is Kramer from Seinfeld. I can't. I'll try to zoom up the camera. It didn't work out. It's good. It's funny.
When you call him, is his ringtone?
I wish.
Bing, bing, bing.
I always do this thing, and I think it's because my humor is like I like making people feel awkward, and I love awkward comedy. Because every time we talk on the phone, it'll be like, "Oh yeah, we've got to get this done, cover this shift, make sure we're on this, get the order done, you know, EOPS results, all that sort of stuff." And at the end of the phone call, I'll go, "I love you, Lachlan," and he'll go, "Yeah, bye, Matt." And I'll go, "No, say it." And he goes, "Love you, bye." I love making
That's
people
good.
feel awkward.
That's what the boss should be like.
He's also 19.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's 19. I haven't been shy to say I love him before.
No,
Just
I
what
meant the
good
fact that
mates
he's
do.
19 running McDonald's, but yeah, that's not meant more, but not just, "Oh yeah, I've got a mate who's 19. Shut the fuck up, Sam. What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen, cunt. I don't think you
can't
realize who you're dealing
swear.
with.
You can't swear.
I don't think you realize who you're dealing with.
You can't
Look
swear.
at how tall I am. I'm 6'5". Look at me. I'm a fucking beast.
You're
Oh, he's
not.
come back. He's mad.
So I'm really angry. Is there anything you want to talk about before we sum up? I don't know. I think I just want to I like talking with you.
I like talking with you too, buddy. It's chill. It's the chill hour.
I
And I
have a
like
good
watching
friend
the
of mine.
sunset as well.
That's gay. I have a good friend, and she's a girl, and like, you know, I find her attractive. She's a nice girl, and it'd be
That's gay.
nice if she saw me as a potential mate. But she calls me buddy. Do you think I like that? She calls me pal.
Well, that's a
Think
bit.
I like that?
It's a bit disrespectful.
I don't-
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I think that's it's
I don't
better
know.
than her being like, "Love you, honey," and she
I actually think
doesn't.
Sam's cut out
So,
now.
which would you
So I'm just
rather?
gonna leave that. Thank you for listening to On We Talk.
Fuck
The
off!
On We Talk after show.
No,
Um,
you dickhead!
audio wise or
You
video wise, whichever
bastard.
one you fucking
You
got to. But
fuckwit. That's it.
thanks for listening.
You bastard.
I was gonna say subscribe to the Patreon, but it's not a Patreon. Also, it's behind a different paywall. All
No.
good. Don't worry about it. See you guys. I love you.